We gather in the cosmos bright. Stars and ships take flight tonight. In the void where dreams do play. Soul citizens lead the way. Borders fade in nebula's light. Unknown worlds will chart tonight. Through the galaxy we soar. Endless journeys at our core. Borders fade in nebula's light. Unknown worlds will chart tonight. Through the galaxy we soar. Endless journeys at our core. Starry roads in endless skies. Soul citizens we rise. Charting courses never lost. Together the verses crossed. Squadrons call on the horizon. Battles fought, our hearts aren't frightened. In our ships we face the dawn. Soul citizens carry on. Oh, planets spin and light years fly. Boundless space where hopes reside. Brotherhood in every star. Soul citizens, here we are. Borders fade in nebula's light. Unknown worlds will chart tonight. Through the galaxy we soar. Endless journeys at our core. Starry roads in endless skies. Soul citizens we rise. Charting courses never lost. Together the verses crossed.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of Soul Citizens. This is episode 245 titled The Interviews of Squadron 42. Hey, that rhymed. Today is Sunday, March 23rd, and I'm joined by my co-host Kalrati. How are you doing today, Kalrati?
Hey, FC. Hey, beautiful people in the chat. It is good to be here. I am happy to be here, and I'm happy to talk about some Squadron 42. How are you doing?
Y'all notice he didn't call me beautiful. He said beautiful people and stuff. That's fine. I'm doing
It's
well,
implied,
thank you.
it's implied.
Despite that snap. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, but yeah, today is talking. Oh, thank you for the subscription, Pot and Faves.
Thank
How many months?
you.
46 months in a row. Thank you for that. Yeah, but yeah. So today we're talking about the interview of Squad 42. This may be our last Squad 42 show for a while. I think we pretty
Yeah.
much run the well dry. Thank you. Of
Pretty
Squad
much,
42
yeah.
information for now until they give us more information. But yes, we covered Squad 42 a bit in the past. But this is something a little different. We haven't done it before. Having the interviews mostly from like 2015, 2016, and something special at the end. So yeah, I talked to Kalrati before the show. I just asked him, how many of these videos have you seen? Do you have a chance to look or verify whether or not you've seen these?
Yeah, so I have seen all of them. That was during the hype level when things were, getting really exciting at least for the first initial set of leading up to, when Squadron 40 was expected to release, I guess. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So a little bit of history. Like, I don't know what CIG was thinking back in 2015, 2016, but they started the marketing and advertisement and hype machine for Squadron 42 back in 2015, 2016. Expecting probably Squadron 42 was going to release sometime soon then.
And
maybe.
then procedural generation with planets came on and just extended everything, changed the whole game.
Oh, before we get into it, like, you remember that time period? What were your thoughts back then when they started the hype machine?
So when they started, I was extremely excited. I remember playing over Freelance because I was never, I never played Wing Commander, but I did watch some clips of Wing Commander. But I was playing over Freelancer, the vanilla version, because I really enjoyed the role that Rhys Davies had I can't remember his name in Freelancer, but he was a cool mentor to Edison Trent, and I really liked his accent and the actual lines he used and those things. So I was really excited. I was really excited to experience another storyline, another space-driven storyline, and yeah, and well, then the delays happened. What about you?
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I joined in 2014, so 2015 was only like less than 2 years since I joined the community and became a backer. So I'm like, hey, cool. I don't have that long to wait. Little
Little
did
did
I
we
know.
know.
Little did I know. Yeah, I was like, okay, they got the hype machine going. This is something else. Okay, got all these stars, and people may not notice, but I'm going to say this again for people who may be their first time being here. Black Dog, thank you for the prime subscription for
Thank you,
42.
mate.
42, hey, 42
Oh,
months.
lucky
Appreciate it,
number.
Black Dog. Um, so, I was saying, people may or may not know, I didn't play Wing Commander. I didn't play Fire Frontier. I didn't play Freelancer. I was more of a LucasArts, X-Wing, X-TIE Fighter, X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, TIE Defender, all that stuff that LucasArts. That was the IP I knew. And I, I heard that the Wing Commander games were more six-dimensional, 6 degrees of freedom versus TIE Fighter and X-Wing versus more you're flying an airplane in space, basically. So I figured that the LucasArts game was easier for me to play, so that's one of the reasons why I didn't get into the Wing Commander. But yeah, I was looking forward to it because I mean, I saw the introductions and trailers for Wing Commander, so I knew who was in it. I knew Mark Hamill and people who were in it. So I was like, okay, I didn't get a chance back then, but I get my chance soon. Little did I know, but yeah, that's how I felt back then.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was when they still had reverse the verse. I remember Xylo answering a question that I had asked. I can't remember what the question was, but his and I mean, no fire under the rug for them at all. But I'm sure he would have done that. But he did say that he did play through the sequence of the game, so it could have been when they were in the alpha version to kind of confirm certain blockouts were done and such. So that did happen, at least. But again,
there, there,
it was
there
before
was a thing
procedural
when
planets
Tyler.
came online.
Yeah, there was a thing when Tyler said that he played through the. I mean, was it
Yeah.
Tyler? Someone said they played through my whole game. Might have been Jared Huckabee too. Might have been one or the
Okay.
other, or maybe
Okay.
both of them said it at one time. They said they played through the whole game.
Yeah.
I forgot what opinion they gave, but they said that they did play through the whole game. So, like maybe one day we'll find out what happened. I don't recall.
Maybe.
Maybe they already
Yeah.
said something, but I don't recall what they said between then and now as to what delayed the game.
Yeah, because I'm making this joke that it was procedural generation, but I mean, it could have been some other legitimate reason. Who knows? And like you said, maybe one day we'll know.
Yeah. All right then. So let's get the show started, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right. So we're gonna change this, and our first interview is Andy Serkis. Now, this one isn't a interview per se, but he is one of the stars of Squadron 42, so I felt it would be remiss if we didn't put them in. But this is like 4 minutes. I guess we'll go full screen, and we'll let this play and come back.
So we are experimenting with the Vandal physicality, and part of that is zero gravity. We're using this rig which has got a bungee on it because I can kind of move from stations within the spaceship with a kind of grace of a cat, but with a sort of not completely zero gravity, but with a sense of being able to move and make big leaps and bounds with it kind of effortlessly, really.
So the team we had were the guys that did the rigging for Gravity, which obviously they did a really nice job on the Zero G, and so we were using it to sort of do a low G environment, which we were thinking that the Vandal Kingship has, and to allow the Thul to move around pretty quickly and do sort of bigger, more live jumps. So it was fun. I was enjoying it. He's so great with performance capture. I mean, you know, he's pretty much the guy that wrote the book on it. It's his company we were working with, which is great.
It's been great, actually. I've really enjoyed it. The team, they're fantastic. Can't quite feel my inner thighs anymore, but hey, all in the pursuit of art and happiness.
So we have Andy Serkis playing Thul, who ultimately will be the sort of main antagonist. And then we have Patrice. He's playing the Okurai, who is the leader of the clan.
Good exercise, good creative freedom, a bit like being in a theatre workshop. Lots of fun.
Patrice is trying to find a kind of centre for his character, and I'm going to do the same. We're going to be hooked up to the system, so we'll be actually able to see the avatars for the first time just right now coming up. Right now, you can actually see my character drinking a cup of tea. Because all good Vanduls need a cup of PG tips at the end of the day.
The scene that we're doing is them on the bridge, starting the battle against the UEE fleet.
It's a piece of plastic piping covered with markers and green tape, which represents a very symbolic ceremonial sword of the Vandul.
This is the heart of your ship. So it's like, it's sort of like in, chunk,
So it can be.
and everything's going to start powering up.
It will look slightly more glamorous, dangerous, and powerful than it does at the moment.
Kurai Shaliure. Zadath Akathon Minna.
Both Andy and Patrice weren't speaking English, obviously. They were speaking Vandal, which is a made-up language, but a proper language that was created by Britton Watkins, who's a sort of specialist in creating languages and actually does it for film. So he's most recently been doing the last couple of Star Treks.
Konglang, apparently, that's what it's called. Constructed language. We had good direction, and of course you had the great Andy Serkis.
Yeah, the language is very guttural. It's kind of lots of sounds, and you know, there's a lot of that going on. Yeah, it's quite rich, and it's very fun to do.
We'll be able to publish the actual language, and people will be able to learn how to speak it, and it has a combination of spoken words, some signs for emphasis, and then also the Vandal are bioluminescent, so they'll have sort of tone changes based on mood and stuff like that. So it'll be very cool. Yes, it is a wrap on Andy. Thank you. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you!
It's nice to have got to this point, actually.
Okay, we are back. Yeah, quite a few things. It's been years since I've seen those, but let me get on your impression first. What were your thoughts?
So my thoughts from the very beginning was that I would need a lot of ginger tea and a lot of like throat medicine if I were using that kind of language so many times, because as you said, it's a very guttural language, right? So props to them for doing that over and over again, because I'm quite sure to even learn the dialects and phrases and those things would have been quite a challenge. But again, it was really
let me
exciting.
interrupt real quick.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was remiss. I forgot to give a shout out to Cypher IO. Thank you for the
Oh, Cypher,
raid.
thank
Thank
you
you for the raid
raid.
presentation. Thank you for the raid and welcome raiders. Hope y'all are doing okay. Like we said before we started the show. When we started the show, we're talking about the interviews of Squadron 42 and around that period. So welcome raiders. Hope y'all are having fun. Thank you. Go ahead, Kalrati. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, it was really interesting. So one little thing about this though, and I don't know if Jade in the chat can help us about that, but it's only now, it's a minor thing. But given that it's low gravity in the ship, and as we know from a certain show, if they exist in low gravity, their bones and naturally they should be weaker. I do wonder about their homeworld for the Vandal. If it's just the ship that's low gravity, but the homeworld is a lot heavier. Given
Yeah,
that
I know they're pretty
they seem to
strong.
be
They're pretty
stronger.
strong compared to humans.
Exactly, right? So the home world should have, a lot stronger gravity, I guess. But anyway, that was just something that I just recently noticed. But going back, as you asked, I was really excited. I think I'm not sure if they're still using Andy Serkis's technology.
No, they
For
they might
anything
use his technology,
they
but they
do
move
in-house.
out of his studio. They move into their own
Right.
studio. So,
Right,
but
so
they
they do it in-house now.
probably use some form of his technology because, like we said, this is 2015, so this was
Yeah.
10 years ago almost, basically.
It is.
So, hopefully by the 10 years between then and now, their technology has improved a bit.
Wait, I just realized something. This was in 2016 when they were ramping up marketing, and we're aiming to release Star Citizen 10 years after this. I hope this isn't any bad luck or anything, and they actually
Hey,
do
don't
it.
do that. Don't put that in the universe. Don't
I
do
just
that. Don't do that. But
man.
I called on. I'm sorry if I messed up your name, Patrice Mayambana. How did I
Yeah.
sound? Mayambana.
I think it's Man Banner, yeah.
Mambana. Okay, so yeah, I got that this video was featuring him too, so I think that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't know if people remembered the Squadron 42 presentation from last year, CitizenCon. This is basically showing the behind the scenes of that presentation. Because you saw the scenes when those two were interacting, and this is that behind the scenes of that. So I think that's cool. Like 10 years later, it comes together, right?
Crossing fingers.
But yeah, so I thought that was cool. I saw something on chat I wanted to go over. Hold on. Oh, so the president said part of the delay was when the community in 2015 wanted to expand the game and put it back to their vote. Yeah, I thought that was only for Star Citizen, but maybe I'm mistaken.
I mean, who knows? It could have been for both.
It was for both?
Well, it could have, I guess, primarily been for Star Citizen, but I guess when they thought, okay, let's usher in new ideas, it could have inspired them to expand the storyline as well. So it may not have been, primarily for both of them, but as some ideas got into Star Citizen, they thought, okay, let's try to apply it for Squadron 42, and yeah, I guess it kind of had a domino.
Yeah, but that's a big decision to like rev up the hype machine, have this vote, and affect not only Star Citizen but Squadron 42 too.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just hindsight in 2020 and all that. It's interesting.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah, Matt thought that Woodwise was only Star Citizen mentioned in the writing. That's what I recall, but I don't know. All right, but yeah, that is the behind the scenes for Andy Serkis. Now, next one is a proper interview. This is Rhys Davies, so this is 5 minutes, so let's check this out.
Hey everybody, it's Sandi Gardiner, and I am here at the EPK for Squadron 42 with Rhys Davies.
And I am here with Sandi.
Ooh. So it's great to have you back after all this time since Wing 3. And how is it?
Oh, it's lovely to be back. It's even more complicated for us simple-minded actors now than it was before. Chris it's been 18 years. He was a young, very competent game producer and beginning director, and now he's a hugely competent and successful game producer and a very, very competent film director. I think we could intimidate him, back then. Now he just knows that we're scared stiff because we don't understand what the heck we're doing. Chris is not the young boy whiz kid that he was. He's just a young whiz kid with an extraordinary attention to detail. He always had an extraordinary patience. And what comes across, of course, he likes the people he works with. And that's pretty marvelous and magical.
And Mark Hamill, how is it to work with Mark again?
It's lovely to work with Mark again. Again, we've both got a lot older. I like to think that I look younger than him. Yeah, right. No, but we have a lot of fun together, and he was always very precise and very focused, and he's even more so now. By and large, if actors survive into their middle age, they tend to get better. There are exceptions.
You're not quite middle-aged yet, though, are you?
No.
So tell us a little bit about your character.
My character, I play a man called Graves, who actually served with the Old Man, as he's called, in the 118 Squadron. Mark's character has gone on and become a lieutenant commander, and I just wasn't getting the promotion that I thought I deserved, and decided, Civvy Street would be a lot easier. In fact, Civvy Street hasn't been that much easier, and I've ended up taking a job that I had to compromise to take, and it has compromised me. And the real question is, do the old qualities of service and sacrifice and camaraderie still prevail? And if they do, fine. If they don't, well, then the character is without redemption.
Wow. I was watching a little bit of your work, and your voice is obviously, to me, it's amazing. It just reverberates through the whole place. Did the headset at all, or I guess none of that bothered you, right? The motion capture suit, it didn't bother you?
The motion capture is a nightmare. It's an iron band around your head. But you can't get too close to your fellow actor, you see, because you've got this boom thing hanging out you. If you go up and shake hands, you go bang with your heads, and people say, "Oh, can't do that." No, it upsets the whole whatever it is.
So nothing, you didn't wear anything like that in New Zealand then?
No. This is the current state of the art of motion capture, and that's one of the reasons why this project is really fun to do, but really quite important. Because it's a real interaction now. You're not just looking at a wooden computer face going like that, with a little bit of real fixed acting. You can walk around these characters. You can look at them. You can see their faces registering what you're saying.
Well, our fans are going to be very excited for John Rhys Davies to be playing Graves, so we look forward to the interaction with Graves in the game, and we hope you had enough fun with us that you will come back for another couple of episodes.
I have to tell you, fans, I really am enjoying doing this. I think it's very important, and I think you are going to experience something you've never experienced before, either on film and certainly not in games. Sit back in your seats. This is going to be a hell of a ride. Take care.
Thanks, everybody.
We are back, and that was John Rhys Davies. Some people may not realize how to pronounce his name, but yeah, John Rhys Davies, that's how you pronounce it. So yeah, Kalrati, what were your thoughts?
So not to sound not negative, but like cheeky in any way. But it has been a hell of a ride, as you said. But going back to the interview, he has been one of those examples that when I was in secondary school reminds me of a teacher that always hammered home the importance of delivery when it comes to speech and intonation,
Hmm.
and just listening to him. I mean, just taking him out of the context of Squadron 42, um, just listening to him, I just felt drawn in and pulled into the alliteration and into the intonation and all those things and how he phrases and uses his words. It as he said, for actors who go past middle age, they tend most of the time to get better, and he's one of those prime examples. And I really look forward to hearing and seeing a delivery well done, well deserved of him in Squadron 42, because I had to quickly Google his name in freelance, and his name was Professor Winston, or it was Winston Tobias, and
Okay.
it was very very memorable. I can hear some of the lines that he would have used in that game, and I honestly I'm not sure how his character is in Squadron 42. I doubt it's the same kind of character that he's going to be, well, in terms of the mood and emotions, but I'm really looking forward to seeing and hearing his delivery in Squadron 42. I'm quite sure it's going to make a very memorable mark. Yeah.
Yeah,
What
Glade.
about you?
Yeah, Gladstone said that that's rude. It isn't over until 1.0 is released, and maybe 5 years if you're lucky. But yeah, I think it would be more. Well, Kalrati, I don't mean to put words in the mouth. I think might be more accurate to say it had been a heck of a ride so far. Add
That's
the so
true.
far as the qualifier, maybe that would make Gladstone happy. But yes, this is my first time seeing this interview, and I guess 8 years, maybe. Yeah, something like that. I saw these when he first came out, but this is refreshing my mind. One of the
Yeah.
questions he talked about what it's like to work in video games then and now, because he worked with Chris Farley before, and I thought that was interesting. A question that came up to me while I was watching this thing. This interview. Oh, hold on, I have it in here somewhere. This interview was December 16th, 2015. That's when this was released. December 16th, 2015. So, not 9.5 years almost.
Right.
So,
Right.
my question is now, if these actors had to give more interviews for Garden 42 leading up to the actual release of the game, how much will they remember after after all this time? You ever thought about that?
Oh, that's a really good question. I've never actually thought about that. No.
But I mean, well, some of it maybe they'll draw from the more recent stuff because they're like last year John Rhys Davies went in for reshoot,
Yeah.
so maybe they'll have that to keep their memory fresh. But some of the other actors, I don't know if they had reshoots because yeah, like I don't know when they rapped the first time they rapped for the shooting the game, but I'm thinking around December 2015 maybe because that's when these interviews were taken. So that's a long
Right. Yeah.
time between then and now for actors to remember their experience of making recording and everything like that. So yeah, what do you think? Do you think that they'll be able to hang and remember, or you think they'll have to rely on more recent experiences?
So one thing I've come to appreciate and understand, I'm definitely not as experienced as them, but in like the entertainment industry, as you practice and practice and practice and practice and practice, be it a song, be it some kind of acting in their case, it becomes almost like muscle memory. So sometimes even if you don't entirely recall a line or verse or something, the moment something triggers that memory, it takes you back. And I think that even though these footages would have been so many years old, um, I'm sure I'm thinking the direction that CIG is going to go in when it comes to interviewing John and Mark and the others, if they haven't done it yet, is to do a bit of a timeline. And I'm sure when they, at least I'm confident when they do that kind of timeline, it's going to trigger some memories, some really
Okay.
positive memories or some memories over the years.
So what you're saying is you think they'll be okay? You don't think it'll be a problem?
Yeah.
All right.
Nah,
All right.
I don't think
That's
so.
good to know. I'm wondering. Yeah, Maxwell says he's 80 years old now, so he was 70 in this.
Oh, wow.
Mark Hamill had to be close to 70 then also, so maybe he was 60. We'll get to him in a moment. So, oh boy, that's interesting. Wow, yeah, I didn't have put it into that perspective, Maxwell.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Oh, wow.
All right, so up next we have this is Gillian Anderson, and there's some not controversy. There's maybe some of the younger people may not know. I don't mean you, Kalrati. I don't mean you.
Hey,
but
I
people-
remember. So
Yeah,
I'm
some-
transitioning. So.
Maybe people may not remember her rise to fame in X-Files and stuff like that. That was late '90s. So having her in this project was a real boost for the game. But yeah, so this is Gillian Anderson. This is 4 minutes. So let's check this out.
Hey everybody, I'm Sandi Gardiner, and I am here with a very special actor by the name of Gillian Anderson. Thank you for coming to the interview today. I know you're a very, very busy lady, so we love having you. Tell us about being on Squadron 42 and what it was like to be in a mocap suit.
I remember on the first day being led into the room where the jumpsuit is put on, and you're kind of going, oh, okay, all right, I can deal with this. And then they start sticking the reflective baubles on, and then you walk into this room that has 20 people working. You're in a skin tight suit with baubles on it. It's like, hi guys, this is great. And then the dots get put on, and then the helmet puts on, and you are in probably your most appealing and attractive state when you start doing the very sexy exercises that they have you do at the beginning to get the computer synced up to your movements.
This is your first video game, right?
No, the one and only time I did was at the very, very, very beginning of its invention, I think, for an X-Files video game, where for the first time when I was doing the dialogue for the game, they had a camera on my mouth. They put lipstick on and had a camera on my mouth. And that was the one and only time that I've ever had to do it, and that was many, many years ago.
How did you feel in just the big empty volume?
It took me a while to kind of figure out what was going on, and that even though everything around us was fake and temporary, that what was being captured, it was important to keep it as real as possible.
And what about the facial capture, the facial animation capture?
It's a little, what's disconcerting is that you know that you see the list of expressions, and you know that there's like 50 or 60 or something of them that you're going to do. And they are every possible range of emotion and strange look and terror and fear and happiness and sadness and etc. But sadness with your eyes that way and your mouth slightly open, sadness with your eyes that way and the grimace, sadness with, and so, and again, completely, have to be completely not self-conscious in any way, shape, or form as your face is captured in stills in the most distorted frames possible. But fun.
What was your overall experience on the shoot?
It'll increase my credibility with my sons. So I find that the most exciting of all. I might actually be a cool mom finally when the game comes out, because I'm not a cool mom right now.
Will you be back with us a second time?
I do know that it was lots of fun, and I hope you like it. and hopefully I'll be back for more.
Thanks, Gillian. We look forward to seeing you in game. See you next time.
Yeah, man. I was thinking the same thing. I was going to direct that to Kalrati. Kalrati, do you think she's a cool mom yet?
I'm sure she is, but I was about to say that it wasn't John who jinxed the timeline of the game. It was Gillian, because she said when it comes out.
Yeah.
She was the one. Everyone blamed Gillian Anderson for the delays.
Wow! Don't do
But
that.
I'm
Don't
quite,
do that.
nah, don't do that. But I'm quite certain, that she is a really cool mom now, and I mean, who knows? Maybe you never know if her sons maybe playing Star Citizen. They may have tried to experience it.
Yeah, the first thing I noticed was that neck tattoo Sandy Gardiner, well now Sandy Roberts, have it in this video, caused quite a stir when that video
Really?
came up. Do you remember that? Yeah,
How come?
people didn't know what the heck was going on. They were like, "What's going on with the tattoo? Is she
Seriously?
Yeah, I don't want to speculate what we were speculating on back then, but yeah, it turns out she just had a movie role or another acting gig. So that's what the tattoo was for. But people were like, there was a short period of time where like people were like asking, demanding to know what was up with the next tattoo.
It's ridiculous.
So yeah, it's little things like that I remember from watching these again.
Oh, okay.
One thing I forgot to mention was American God. Gillian Anderson was also in there. She was cool in there. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I never watched.
American God, yeah. I would. It's dark. If you like dark series, TV series, it might be for you. Whatchamacallit? Neil Gaiman is the writer of the novel, and they directed and put that into TV form. So I couldn't get through it. It's a little bit too dark for me. But maybe someone else's. Yeah. But Lady Space Patrol says it's very dark, and I only watched the first season. I think there's like 2 or 3 seasons. So yeah. One thing Gillian Anderson talked about this video was the calibration, I guess is what you call it, when they're doing the facial still. Jared Huckabee mentioned that during his experience a few weeks ago in the ISC. So yeah, I don't know. I forget how long. I think he said it took him 2 hours to get through it or something like that. But Gillian Anderson said she had fun. I don't know. It doesn't seem fun to me. But more power
I'm sure
to
it's
them
the
if they find it
results,
fun.
I guess.
Say it again.
I guess it's the results of seeing. I guess it's the fun comes from the results of seeing. Well, yeah. So after training, doing the whole rigging and those things, I guess the enjoyment comes from seeing the result of that training, of that. So it may, perhaps be a bit strenuous at first, but given, how involved they would have been with the mocap, they may have eventually become a bit more accustomed to it. And I mean, even though it's work, there's always some fun to be.
Yeah, Cypher is asking that it seemed like there's some tension. It felt kind of rushed. It did feel kind of rushed to me, but I'm guessing it's because these actors only have a little bit of time to do these interviews, so maybe there was some kind of timing issue where someone was late or something like that. So it does feel a little rushed this time, but I don't really hold it against them. I don't think it's tension or anything bad or anything. It's just how this thing goes sometimes. So yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I do remember from back then, they had the performance capture behind the scenes too, and we saw the Squadron 42 demo, not presentation from CitizenCon. One thing I do remember is that how spoilers, but how Gillian Anderson was shooting at the Van Duel and at the end of the presentation. In the behind the scenes, there's a clip of Gillian Anderson asking Chris Roberts she's holding a fake gun in her hand, and she's looking at the screen. So Chris Roberts is showing her what the Vandal looks like. And one of her first questions was, "This will work on that?" And Chris Roberts like, "Yeah, it'll work on it." And then we see the results of that scene in the presentation. So like not full circle, but it's coming back around. So I thought that was cool. You
Yeah,
remember
that was
that?
funny. Yeah, I remember that. That was really
Hmm.
cool though.
All right. So hopefully by now Gillian Anderson is a cool mom. Uh, she's always been cool to me ever since X Files.
Yeah, she's always
Yeah,
been chill. I
she's
always
always
liked
been
her as an
cool.
actress in
All right. So up next we had the one and only Mark Hamill. This is 7.5 minutes long. So let's check this one out.
Hey everybody, it's Sandi Gardiner, and I am here for the Squadron 42 EPK with Mark Hamill. Mark, we are so excited that you are on Squadron 42, and all the fans are going to go crazy when they find out. There were rumors. There have been rumors that you were on
I've tried to
this.
be very careful about that. Everything's an NDR these days.
Yeah.
Non-disclosure. I remember the old days when producers craved free publicity. But I have several projects now that I can't talk about. One, I will be financially penalized if they can trace the leak to me. Just crazy.
Right.
You know, it was done under a fake name, and oh my gosh,
Well,
it's a whole new world.
It was on Reddit. Mark Hamill flew to London. Well, he must be in Squadron 42.
Oh, really?
So-
I did.
so-
I thought, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that. I did say in London for a top secret project. Spoiler alert, not SW related.
SC, but or SQ42.
There you go.
So, can you tell us about your character?
I love this guy, Lieutenant Commander Steve Colton. My father was a career naval officer, and I knew people like this. They were lifers. They sort of resented the more educated college boys, they used to call them. But he's not a people person. I remember reading that he doesn't so much instruct people as to hammer them into shape. So he doesn't suffer fools gladly. He doesn't really have people skills. He's gruff. But he's also very dedicated to the cause, which is admirable. And he's selfless in that regard. So it's really fun playing someone I wish I could be more like in real life. And Ian Duncan is playing the player. It's really from his point of view, although I'm sort of his sidekick throughout the game. And it's just been as much fun as I imagined it would be. I really had such a great time working on Wing Commander with Chris, and the fond memories remain, but I never in a million years thought that the opportunity would present itself again. And when he asked me to do it, he's so brilliant. I didn't need a script. I immediately said, of course, I can't wait. Of course, your agent says, you didn't tell him that, did you? I mean, play hard to get, for God's sakes. No, I didn't have to think twice. It was just a no-brainer.
How was the suit and the headset for you?
Well, I'd been watching the DVD extras on, Planet of the Apes or, Lord of the Rings, Avatar. And, any new technology fascinates me. So I thought, I'd love someday, I'm very jealous of Andy Serkis getting all of these parts, because I thought, boy, he's King Kong, he's Gollum, he's all of these wonderful character parts. So I couldn't wait. I wanted to see what it would be like. And you have to remind yourself, you're wearing all this gear and you look on the monitor and you think, wow, that's very impressive. I got this great outfit and a backpack and the key question is, can they make me look taller? That's what I care
I'm
about.
sure they can.
You know, make me look a little more like, I don't know, Brad Pitt or something. But because there's not much dignity there. You sort of look like a penguin in these outfits and the little, skull cap and whatnot, and then the headgear. But like I say, you look at the virtual sets and they're just stunning. And you imagine that if you were doing this with real sets in real time, or the amount of time it takes to change over to other sets, we'd be on it for 6, 7, 8 months. The sets are just awesome, and Chris kept saying, and yeah, they're not even finished yet, but it's fun because we'll look over. I was sitting in a simple folding chair with John Rhys Davies and Ian Duncan, and over on the monitor, Hannes had put us on a big white sofa. I guess he got bored, and you can sort of play around and do all of these things. But I'm like a kid in a toy store. I just love gadgets and gizmos, and whereas Wing Commander was really cutting edge in its day, here we are decades later, and Chris has done it again.
So fun working with Chris again then.
So much fun. He's, first of all, he has such a firm grasp of every aspect of the game. Because, I said, well, fax me, email me and let me download the material. After about 500 pages, I'm trying to make heads or tails out of it. He very kindly sent a synopsis, which was great. But like I say, at any given moment, I can say, what intensity level are we? What happened immediately before? Does this come before that scene? I'd be lost without him. He's my guru, and he's so easygoing. He's not only got a firm grasp of what he needs from a technical point of view, but he's great with actors because, he's an accomplished director. He knows the problems we face. Very succinct in his direction. I mean, sometimes you can get overloaded with various levels of direction, and he comes in and tweaks what he needs. But he's just fun to be around. He's a great director, a wizard of when it comes to computer games, and I'm very grateful that he's also a great friend.
Well, we look very much forward to seeing you, Mark, in as Colton in the game, and also for the upcoming episodes after that.
I can't
We'll
wait.
be back. All right. Thanks, everybody.
I don't know why it's taking a long time for XSplit to switch between the scenes, but yeah, we're back. So yes, you go ahead, Kalrati. What are your thoughts?
So, one of the reasons why I'm really looking forward to Squadron 42 coming out, back to Mark Hamill, is that I know that Squadron 42, or I shouldn't be saying I know, but I'm confident or I'm hopeful that Squadron 42 is going to do him more justice than a certain movie that was not Squadron 42 related. So, I'm looking forward to that happening, so he can say, "Hey, in your face, I was actually had more screen time in the video game than in a movie." But yeah,
Yeah, so let's give a little backstory. This is 10 years ago. I mean, people will remember. I mean, people who watch that show probably remember, but you never know. Down the line, maybe newer people will watch and not get it. But this is along the time when Star Wars Episode 8. I want to say
I think
8.
it was Episode 8. Yeah.
Yeah, 8 was coming out. So at the beginning of the video, they mentioned that he can't. There's stuff he can't talk about, but some people may want to ask them. But yeah, it was all the hype up leading up to Star Wars Episode 8, and yeah. So this is when things he could talk about as opposed to Star Wars. So, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and just to answer Gladestone's question, I did not play Wing. I only saw the preview. The first game and only game that I played under Chris Rock was Microsoft Freelance. So but so going back to Mark Hamill, overall, I really initially got hyped. I remember when they did when they were still doing the, gosh, it was this teaser trailer where they zoomed in on him from outside the Idris, and he said something, but it was very pre-rendered, of course, but it was so much. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, we get to play with Mark Hamill and those things, but it's just full on excitement still. I'm glad and I'm very relieved that I still have that level of excitement after so long. And yeah, I do have a question for you, FC.
Okay.
Given that all of these actors and actresses are, of course, their data is poor data and all these things, and with the birth of AI, do you think that when AI becomes more advanced, machine learning becomes more, who knows, in video games, similar to how we're using AI-driven packages for audio, do you think voices and even the intonations and the facial expressions are going to be, well, of course, perhaps with royalties, some of these, do you think that's going to be more of a prevalent thing in video games? Do you think persons are still going to take the
I think it'll be a thing
appreciate
for like independent game makers, indie game makers to lean on,
right?
because the AI stuff, AI technology we have now in 2025, in 2035, I can't even imagine how more advanced it'll be. So
Right.
you're talking about intonations and stuff like that. I
Yeah,
don't know
because
when. I don't know when they'll nail that to get it like down pat, but it will happen. I don't know. It's just a matter of when for me.
yeah, and so before you continue and give your opinion on this, the other reason why I was curious about it is because some of these great actors and actresses, they're not getting any younger. And I'm just saying, right?
Neither am
This
I.
is the truth.
Neither am
So
I.
to kind of immortalize them, I guess one of the cool ways, I guess, is maybe to use AI to, I guess, in some way remember, But
I mean,
what about you?
that's one of the good things about AI, the AI development. If used properly, you could do it that way. Some people like to focus on the negative and say that it takes jobs away. And there are specific cases when it had, well, I don't want to say it had taken a job away, but people have used AI to copy someone against the actors of artist
Right.
permission.
Yeah.
So it depends on if they get the law down, because the law, I'm not sure if the law has caught up to technology. It's always a race between the law and technology in that respect. So I think they need to get the regulation, get the law in place, and people will, see that it's more beneficial to do with the actor permission as opposed to just doing it on their own. Because I mean, who wouldn't want to have a voice like James Earl Jones in their project if they could get it? So
That is
hopefully
so
that
true.
answers
That
your
would be,
question.
yeah, it totally did.
Jay Star Wars, if someone got an AI from me, the joke would be better. Are you sure? I'm not sure about that. I mean, it's a possibility, but you won't have that artistic genius that I have. That it'll be lacking a certain something. Anyway, some of the things that I noticed in this video, rewatching it, the character named Steve Colton, they call him Old Man. You got that from the previous video. I remember the Squadron 42 trailer from around this time. He's outside the cockpit of the Gladius, and the player character comes up to him and he's asking, "Who the heck are you?" He didn't say heck. So I thought that was cool. He has a really gruff voice in this game. So I'm not sure if I ever heard him. I don't think I've ever seen him perform a character quite like that before. How about you?
Yeah, so based on how he sounds in Squadron 42, it's like a serious but heavier version of Joker, I guess. because Joker has a bit of a husky kind of, but a high pitched version.
Personality is completely different.
Yes, totally different, completely different. But for this one, it's more serious and it's a heavier, husky kind of sound, which I really appreciate because I think it fits his role as his character a good bit. So yeah, but I don't think I've ever heard him voice a role like this before. And yeah, it's going to be exciting. When you're playing the game and you're actually hearing him, you're going through the narrative with him, and who knows how how it's going to. I think it's going to leave a very interesting and lasting.
You know what? It just occurred to me that maybe he's channeling a bit of Harrison Ford with that voice. Because whenever I hear Mark Hamill impersonate Harrison Ford, it kind of reminds me of Steve Colton. And now that it just occurred to me just now. It never occurred to me before. So yeah, I think that's interesting. I mean, maybe I'm the only one who hears it, but yeah. One of the other things Mark Hamill mentioned in this video is like acting in this project. He's like a kid in a toy store. It's so wonderful to hear how these actors are enjoying themselves because, you know, every actor has their nightmare project, but it seems to be more like a dream project for a lot of them, and that's wonderful to hear. How about you?
Exactly. I agree.
All right, so we're gonna take a quick commercial break. So let me click on. Well, yeah, I can keep that playing. Let me just go back to here. Sorry, folks. Wishy-washies. Here we go. All right, so let's take a quick commercial break, shall we? Waiting for it to start. 3, 2, 1. Well, it says it started, so I'll just go ahead and go. Hey, everyone, thank you for subscribing and helping support Soul Citizens. We appreciate everyone here and appreciate all you who are watching in the future. We always appreciate support from Patreon, YouTube, Twitch, all the platforms that we have. And you know, this next coming Sunday we have a show about organization. So tune in for 7 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. UTC for that. We do have a couple of one more show coming up. As you know, Slow Voices has ended and Slow Talk has ended, but a new show on Saturday is coming up called Lore Lighthouse. It'll be starting soon. I don't want to give an exact date, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully, you'll find it interesting and find it fun. Again, thank y'all. So, you have anything you want to say for our audience, Kalrati, before we go back?
Yeah, just save up your bets so whenever he actually makes another joke, just get ready to ban him. Yeah, but thank you for subscribing and being here with us.
Okay. All right.
So,
all right, back to the show. All right, so up next we have Gary Oldman, and this one is 12 minutes. So yeah, this is quite a long interview. I do have something I wanted to say before. I'll say before I ask it though. So yeah, here we go. 12 minutes. Gary Oldman. Oh, this is dated. The previous video with Mark Hamill was November 19, 2015. This is October 10, 2015. So a month before.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sandi Gardiner, and I am sitting here with Gary Oldman. Very exciting for our fans. Gary, you're not unfamiliar with working in video games, but this one was full performance capture. So, how has this experience been for you?
Well, it's total. The work I've done before has been voice work. So, you come in and lay down a vocal track, and this is completely different because we wear the cameras and the headgear, so it captures the performance, and all those other many cameras and gizmos capture the physicality. It's more like being in a film as an actor rather than the other games I've done. It's a bit like radio. You know, you go in and lay down a voice for the character.
Right. And how did the suit and the headset, was that all okay for you, or?
The technology has come on, I mean, leaps and bounds. Maybe not quite 10 years ago, I was in A Christmas Carol, and the Bob Zemeckis film with Jim Carrey, and it was the same deal. You know, it was performance capture, but it was cruder. So what you can now do with these games is remarkable. And then I think what Chris wants to do, our director, creator, is again sort of pushing the envelope on it.
Do you have any funny anecdotes from the set, from your shoot?
I play a character. I play the admiral of the Krugeri ship, sort of like a destroyer, big battleship in the fleet. And I found it hard to say Admiral Bishop. See, I can't do it. I could say, you know, Admiral Susan, Admiral Doug, Admiral Gary, Admiral Bishop. I can't say it.
So what happened on set then?
I just ended up saying Bishop. I'll fix it later. I'll fix it in the edit. But yeah, no, I couldn't even say my own name. There you are.
Attention, fleet. This is Admiral Bishop. Sorry, I'm not used to acting. Attention, fleet. This is Admiral Bishop. Attention, fleet. This is Bishop. You are ordered to immediately withdraw.
It's been nice also to reconnect with Mark Strong, who's in it. So the last time that we were working together was Tinker Tailor. We were wearing, you know, tweed and smelling of Brill cream and you know, stale cigarettes. So it was quite nice to sort of hook up with him again. Hundreds of years into the future. Yeah.
In motion capture suits.
In motion capture suits, yeah.
What was the inspiration for the portrayal of Admiral Bishop?
Admiral Bishop.
Admirable Bishop.
Well, Chris had an idea of him. Well, more than an idea of him, really. He is a sort of great leader, soldier, tactician, in the sort of the vein of someone like General Patton and like, you know, Montgomery or Alexander the Great. So that's, I think, the sort of the base for it. And then you make it your own. You can look to either characters in history, even sometimes you can actually look to other actors. You can have, it's like a sort of what I call a springboard. It's a point of inspiration, but it doesn't mean that you do an impersonation or that you copy. Mm-hmm. You can get the spirit or the flavor of what you're looking for somewhere else.
Right. I heard that you were just rehearsing and like everybody stopped and everybody's jaw just dropped and went.
Yeah, I was just sounding it out.
Right.
Yeah.
But
well, the thing that I think, you know, people forget or don't realize is that you have to kind of, when you rehearse a play, you have 6 weeks, let's say.
Right.
Sometimes longer, sometimes shorter, but you'll have at least a month, at least 4 weeks, if not 5 or 6 weeks. And that's when you're in a room finding the character, the dynamics, in a scene, You're finding your own character, you're working out the relationships, or at least, no, the relationships are there, but you're digging and understanding and getting to grips with these people that you're portraying. In film, you don't have that luxury.
Right.
So a lot of it, you have to kind of just do at home. You just do it in your kitchen or your bedroom or wherever you...
Right.
It's kitchen acting, I call it. So you kind of like work on something. And then when you get to a space, like over here at the Imaginarium, then you want to kind of like open it up. So I was just opening up my shoulders.
Right. Oh,
Giving
Chris mentioned that I guess there was some line where you're asking if anybody would like to leave. And I guess it was so powerful that a couple of the actors were like leaving. And then Chris was like, no, you're actually not supposed to leave. Okay. So.
Or abandoning ship.
Yeah.
Yes, if any of you wish to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
But it's all new stuff. I mean, we're doing things. I've got a vague idea of what I look like. I've got a vague idea of what I'm wearing. I have a somewhat good idea of this, the sort of bridge of the ship that I was in. But all this stuff is just, it keeps evolving. I mean, we're fighting this enemy, the Vandal. I actually only saw today what they look like. I mean, I could just imagine that they were ugly, like nasty guys.
Right.
I mean, that was enough. But I actually, for the first time, saw what they look like. And this thing behind me is that's.
It's an M50 racer ship. We use that in the Murray Cup, which is kind of like a Formula One kind of race in space.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful, and it's the first time I've seen it. So it's terribly.
You get lots of kudos with our gaming fans. They'd be very impressed. All the people who own one of those ships currently would be chuffed. Gary Oldman likes my ship.
Yeah, they're great. They're really it's something.
So what do you feel then is the future for these types of projects like this, characters through motion and performance capture?
Well, I can't speak for. I mean, I can only, from personal experience, and I can't speak for other people. I mean, from what I gather, Chris is a bit of the sort of George Lucas of this stuff, or potentially could be. And he is going for a more, a sort of emotional experience, really putting the player really putting you in the game, in a way that we don't have right now. So he's sort of pioneering it, this kind of interactive play with the game, and what he wants from it, I think, is more a cinematic experience where you have emotional connections with characters, like you would in a movie, where you root for a person in a movie, or you're familiar with a character and you get to know someone in a film. I think he wants to sort of push the game world.
That kind of basically ties into my last question for you. How is it, or how was it working with Chris Roberts?
It's been utterly charming. Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to work with a director who knows what he wants, who has a point of view, and you are more so in this situation. You're at the mercy of. You're very much at the mercy of the director, because you're asking not only what it looks like outside the window, but what am I? So this thing I'm standing in front of, this piece of cardboard, with gaffer tape on it. It's, oh yeah, that's the console, and then you've got your screen here, and you've got your thing here, you know, and you say, oh, so this is this and that, you know. I mean, you're blind. You're kind of,
Right.
I mean, talk about running on faith.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been, you really need your handheld through it. But when they clap the board and say action, it's much the same thing.
So when our fans go quite wild when they find out that you're in our game, we hope that you liked us enough that you might come back.
I believe, I do believe I'm coming back. So they tell me.
I think everybody had a good time, so we hope you had a good time.
Yeah, I had a good time too.
And,
Yeah, it's gonna be a cracker. Yeah.
And that's it, guys.
And we're back. So yeah, that is the interview with Gary Oldman. That is from October 10th, 2015. So what are your thoughts, Kalrati?
So two things. One, I'm still trying to come to the to terms to this day that he's not American.
Oh,
because
really? You didn't know that?
I knew him. No, I knew him initially from the Batman, Dark Knight movies.
Oh,
So
that's Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, Commissioner Gordon. So I didn't actually know him from previous movies, even though he's been very prolific. So that's one. Two, even though I watched, so I have to admit, for this clip, for this interview, I didn't see the entire. I never saw the entire. Extremely relieved I did not, because if I did, then we would have known that he was part of a destroyed ship. He'd have asked some of the prisoners to leave, which was when we saw the vertical slice last year. It was an impactful scene.
Right.
So I'm glad I didn't see the entire interview back then.
Oh,
I saw
really?
all all of the interviews throughout. This one, I did not. I think I stopped very, very early in. Can't remember why, but I'm very relieved that I did. At least up to this point. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I find that interesting. Like, there's a question for quite a few people. If watching behind the scenes before you actually play the game or watch a movie or watch a TV series, that kind of ruin the experience of watching the series or what have you, because you kind of know what to expect. So hearing you say that, yeah, I find it interesting because I'm one for me. Whenever there's a new superhero movie, I know I'm gonna see. I avoid the trailers like the plague. Or a new sci-fi movie that I'm going to see, I avoid the trailers like a plague. So, because I can't trust the marketing people to not put the best part of the movie inside the trailer and have it spoiled for me before I see the movie. Because
because you've seen the whole movie from the trailer.
Exactly, especially if it's a bad movie. Especially if it's a bad movie. So like whenever there's a new Marvel movie, DC movie, I always avoid the trailer beforehand. So you want to get on my nerves? Throw me a clip on the trailer before I get a chance to see the movie. So yeah, I find that interesting.
Yeah,
for me,
definitely.
For me, one of the first things I noticed, again, this is from 2015. Sandi is so adorable in this video. She's Star Trek by Gary Oldman. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I realized that.
Yeah, she's so Star Trek, but it is so adorable. So I thought that was cute. Back in 2016, when I went to LA for the CitizenCon, we had the CIG tour. Something that happened to me. I don't know if people remember Eden Star. Eden Star was the million backer from back then, in 2016, I believe. And
Divas is what I used to call them.
So we were on a tour for CIG LA studio. It was that Monday. Sandi came out and said, "Hey, FastCart," and then went along her way to do her whatever she needed to do. I looked at Ethan and says, "He knows my name." So I get that. I get that a little bit. That actually happened. I'm not making that up. That actually happened.
That's gold. That is
So,
gold.
so I kind of know how Sandi feels when she's talking to Gary Oldman in this instant. So, full circle, I guess, yeah, almost. But yeah, so I thought that was cute. Again, the Squadron 42 presentation from CitizenCon. We see the behind the scenes from, like you said before. The Admiral. Oh wow, I messed it up myself. Admiral Bishop.
That, oh my god, I forgot that part was hilarious when he realized.
No,
when
so
he
so yeah,
kept
so
getting
let me
those
say,
mistakes.
I remember seeing this in the CitizenCon presentation. I actually cheered for him when I heard him say it correctly.
Really, he did.
I actually cheered. I legit cheered. He said it. Yes. So I thought that was cute. Go ahead.
What is interesting is how he described the difference or the dynamic between being a voice actor and I think that's where he was getting at, and the traditional version of acting, where he would actually have to kind of transition himself into the setting after. So that was, I do wonder if that is the same kind of feeling that other voice actors have, or those who play, both hats. The traditional sense of acting as well as voice acting. That was quite
Performance
interesting
capture.
yeah, performance capture. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just saying you're talking about performance capture. So, what exactly it is? You found this thing? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think he said he was kitchen acting is the term that he had used. And he was just talking about how he was kind of, I guess, practicing and how much time they were given. I think it was traditionally, and it was just interesting to hear how he would describe the dynamic behind it, and it made me think or wonder if this is the same thing for Rhys Davies or Mark Hamill or Gillian Anderson or Mark Strong or the others as well. Both, those who have a lot of experience, and also how it is, if it is the same for those who are now entering the fray.
Okay. Yeah, it's cool, interesting. I haven't thought of it like that. One of the other things that I noticed, what is it with that music in the background in the
That
video?
was so we have a saying here that when something is just so random, it's out of timing, right? So that was very out of timing. I guess perhaps what happened?
Because
maybe
they didn't do it in any other videos and did it twice in
no,
this
they
video.
didn't. So it could be that someone was thinking, okay, this interview may be a little too long, so let's add some music somewhere along the line. So to perhaps
Okay, so
along,
that's
but
what it was.
I don't
Okay,
think
I'll
they
take
needed
that.
it, but still.
Yeah, the last thing I'll say is, if you ask me to abandon ship, I'm gone. I don't care who. You say, "Oh, I have a choice of abandoning ship or staying." Bye. How about you?
Yeah, I have this other Bengal carry that I can go on. All right, Tara looks nice. I can go there too. I'm not right. I want to be in Squadron 42 Chapter 2. So Bishop, you can stay there in Squadron 42 Chapter 1. You're cool. That's cool. I have another game to be motion captured in. Please, thank you very much.
Yeah, so I don't blame the people for leaving after Gary Oldman asked if you want to leave. Yeah, bye. So yeah, I thought that was funny. So yeah, quite a few throwbacks to the CitizenCon presentation. I'm glad we're doing this show now as opposed to, I wanted to do this show earlier, but I'm glad we waited because now we have the perspective of the CitizenCon presentation to fall back on. So that's cool.
Exactly. And we are officially also helping Squadron 42 ramp up their marketing.
Ah,
So beat that.
oh boy. Okay, so maybe we should say this, but I want to ask you a question. What do you think the marketing and hype will be this time around as opposed to last time around?
So I think it's going to be a combination of what they do with, regular movies, but also what I'm thinking they may do is they may have different, how we have, the conventions, they may do different ones across their main studio locations. So yes, we have the, Citizen Con, but what I'm thinking, as apart from the different interview takes with the other actors leading up to the grand event, what would be nice is if they start ramping up, having their own kind of meetups across the main studio locations. Not the studios themselves, but to kind of get people more involved. And of course, they most likely are going to go to the other gaming conventions and ramp that up too. So I think these are some of the ideas that they have in mind. I do wonder about what timeline they'll start. Well, they have. Of course, they want to be extra careful and extra sure that the game
Oh
is
boy.
releasing. So, but I am very curious to know about the timeline that they have in mind for the market. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're gonna revamp these interviews, like do them like have new videos and put out, as opposed to like relying on the old stuff or the stuff that we were watching in this episode tonight. It'll be interesting. Maybe they will. They said that they'll let me get the wording correctly. They will bombard all social. That's true, but I'm talking about like with regard to the actors and from the game, what they would do. We've all been hoping ever since 2016. I've been hoping to see the actors participate in CitizenCon, and I've always hoped that it'd be over here instead of over there. Griffin and Fun and a whole bunch of people from the Soul team went over to Manchester last year for last year's CitizenCon, and they were hoping that they would get to see the actors, but that didn't happen. So I was like. Do I want what you want to be happy for them in case it does happen, but they're like,
It's true. I do hope at least that CIG. I mean, I'm quite sure that they know that we would like to know in advance, and I'm sure that will help drive sales. So I am hopeful that in advance they will announce this.
I don't think they'll do it.
But we'll see.
I mean, okay, if they do it, they would only do it like a month in advance or after the ticket sales are sold out.
Yeah, because it's probably going to be sold out.
Because I mean, if they do it too far in advance, people who are not interested in Star Citizen will try to grab tickets, and you don't want that issue.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
So maybe like a week or two before the event, and when tickets are already sold out or are unavailable, they'll announce it. So yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
That's because people were speculating that gala thing that they were talking about last year. Maybe the actors would come for that, right? That would have been cool, and I could see them. We were speculating on how much the gala tickets would cost. I'm like, if they cost like $500 or more, the actors would have been there. If it's like $150 or less, you're like, no, they're not coming.
Wait, how much did it cost last year?
They didn't have it.
Oh,
the gala
right.
never happened.
Yeah.
They canceled it. Yeah.
Oh, right.
And that's a whole other thing. Like, maybe plans fell through and the actors couldn't come. We don't know what happened. I'm just saying, we don't know what happened. There's a whole bunch of stuff that could have happened that, we just don't know. So, yeah, interesting. But yeah, back to the Gary Oldman interview. I think this is the first of the interviews. So maybe that's why I was wrong. Maybe that's why they were experimenting with the mute. Because you could tell as they went along, they got not shorter, but they got 5 minutes or less. Like the Gillian Anderson and the Rhys Davies interviews, I believe those were later. So yeah, this was the first one that they had. So yeah, they probably went all out for this one.
Yeah,
but I liked it.
Yeah, same. They were probably like, let's not add music in between video. And
Yeah,
make it shorter.
that
It's
didn't
gonna be
work. That
just as
didn't work.
effective.
All right, so up next we have a certain, not a surprise, but I wanted to include this because this is, again, around the same time. This Gary Oldman interview was from October 10th. The next one that we're showing is from December 3rd, 2015, the same year. But this is from the Game Award. Forgive me, Griffin, we'll probably get a we'll probably get a notification. So be careful with the amount of the dates on the next one. But yeah, this is a couple of minutes. We're not gonna go full screen. I want to be able to pause and whatnot real quickly. But this is one. Certain people, a couple people you recognize came out to the Game Awards. Again, this is December of 2015. So let's check this out.
From Roberts Space Industries, here's Chris Roberts, along with Luke Skywalker himself, Mark Hamill.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hey, now, did someone say puke? No, Luke, all right.
So, me and Mark first worked together about, over 20 years ago, back on Wing Commander 3, and, so...
Here we are again.
Here we are again, and it's pretty awesome.
It's very confusing. You know, I have so many space adventures. I can't keep them straight. You know, one has Gillian Anderson, one has Daisy Ridley, one has Gary Oldman and John Rhys Davies and Mark Strong, and there's another one with Harrison.
No, but this one you can actually talk about.
Oh, this is the one I can talk about. Great. Okay, so we're here tonight to present the best action adventure game, but before we do, I have one question for Chris. When Star Citizen Squadron 42 comes out, will I be on the poster?
I think so. Yes.
Please?
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks so much. Really, it's a great thrill for us to be here tonight. And spoiler alert, someone we all love has been nominated. Don't get too excited. I usually lose. But let's hear tonight's nominees for Best Action Adventure Game.
Okay, we're gonna stop there because I don't want to get probably get it in a lot more trouble. So let me go back to I'll go back to here. But yes, this is your first time seeing this.
Yeah, this is my first time seeing this.
What are your thoughts?
It was unexpected. So they were what? They were the MCs announcing the nominees for that category, was it? Or...
Right.
Ah, okay, that was cool then. I guess.
And I believe in this Game Award, they did a Squadron 42 trailer also. I think with this year.
Oh.
And that was earlier in the Game Award.
Interesting. Okay. Well, wow. I mean, given that it was in 2015 as well, this would have been along the time when they were, having the interviews and such.
Yeah, this is exactly smack dab in the middle of all those interviews when they were released. So that's why I included that because it's the same time period.
Okay, cool. So there would have been a healthy chemistry to kind of bring them along, and maybe CIG would have reached out to them to ask them, hey, is this something that they could actually be featured in, perhaps? So yeah, I guess at the time it would have been some cool chemistry to help get the word out for to kind of know, okay, who, for those who may not have known who Chris Roberts is, why is this guy next to Mark Hamill, so it would have been really interesting to kind of see that and have persons start talking about it and talking about Star Citizen and Squadron 42. So yeah.
It's interesting that you say that because as time goes by, I think fewer and people will recognize Chris Roberts for his accomplishment because people haven't played those games. People coming up who are younger won't recognize those games. So it's interesting that you see it like that. Okay, so yeah, go ahead.
So in my case, I have to admit, I didn't know who Chris Roberts was, even though I played Max Freelancer again and again and again from elementary school into into high school. It's only when No Man's Sky's trailer came out that I saw a suggestion trailer for Star Citizen in the thumbnail, and I was looking into more and more about the engine that was being used at the time. And then when they said, okay, this is the guy that made Microsoft Freelancer, and that's how I came to know about Chris Roberts. So maybe for those who were looking at this and seeing, okay, who is this person standing next to Chris Roberts, who may have been on the young side, and they may have known Mark Hamill from the Joker and Star Wars and such, they may have felt the same way. Not in the same not in the same way exactly that I did, but they may have looked up, researched him, and realized, hey, something that I actually interacted with, either watched, played, came from this.
For me, I grew up in that period, so even though I never played Wing Commander, I knew who Chris Roberts was because he's the rock star in game development, like Romero for not Unreal, Quake and stuff like that. So John Romero and Chris Roberts, they were rock stars in game development. So yes, I don't want to say I've always known about Chris Roberts, but I knew about him from the 90s onward. He had a big success, a huge success in the 80s. I forget what game it was, but that was his rise to fame, and he was able to write his own check with Wing Commander, because he had a game before Wing Commander, and that's where it started. So I always knew about Chris Roberts. I just never partook in his game until now. One thing I did want to mention, Mark Hamill asked whether or not he would be in a poster or Squadron 42. I thought that was cute. There was, for people who don't remember, back in 2015, there's a bit of controversy. He was not on the poster, even though he was supposed to be a major star in the episode 8 that was just about to come out. So maybe he felt a certain kind of way. He wanted to get on the poster this time.
Oh, that ain't a maybe. He felt a certain kind of way.
And I feel bad for him because it's been 10 years since then, and he's still not on the poster. Chris Roberts, please put him on the poster when it comes out. I'm asking as a friend from
please do.
As a favor for Mark Hamill. Please put him on the poster.
Please, one of the promo posts, please.
But yeah, the hype machine was real. Like we were saying throughout this episode, the hype machine was real back then, and it was so strong. Let me look. This video has 1.1 million views, but I'm pretty sure it was quite a few views when it went live too. When it played live, so a lot of people saw that. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, what is this Star Citizen? What is this Squadron 42?" And then it didn't come out. So that's unfortunate. But I mean, like we did a show last week called, well, I forget the title, but basically the premise is, what if the Star Citizen came out in 2015? Well, a lot of the technology that we have now would not have been in the game. A lot of the features that we have now would not have been in the game. It would be a less of a game compared to now if it came out in 2015. So I'm still patient. I'm able to wait. A lot of people feel like their patience is at the end, and I get that. But I'm okay. But if they do this hype machine again, oh boy, they better put this game out in 2026. They better put this game out in 2026. What do you feel?
I fully agree. I think a lot of lessons have been learned. And I think a lot of,
that's a very diplomatic way of putting it.
I should be saying, but I'm going with the benefit of the absolute doubt, right? Or the absolute benefit of the doubt that a lot of lessons have been learned, and given their approach with respect to executing certain things, not all, we will see. But I think they are really gunning. I really don't want to jinx anything, but I mean, I wouldn't be the one who jinxes it. No, nobody is. It's just the fact of actions and executions. But I really think that they are aiming for a full-on execution. It may not make it into any kind of presumed date in 2016, but I think we are now closer to the finish line, a lot closer to the finish line. Even with all of the ideas that are coming online that integrate, shout whatever you want to line.
You're breaking up a bit. So we beat the last part.
Oh yeah, sure. So I was saying that I think we are a lot closer to the finish line,
Okay.
even with all of the ideas and mini ideas to fill in the gaps that they think that they need to fill in to make this game fun.
Right.
Not just visually appealing, but fun.
Right.
I think we are closer to the finish line than we were.
Well, considering the amount of time that we passed, I hope we're
Listen,
close to the finish line.
I really doubt that there's going to be another procedural generation kind of eureka. I really hope not. I think we have enough tech and ideas to make this game fun and visually appealing that we don't need anything that is hugely impactful that will delay the game.
So I kind of jumped the gun earlier, but this segment is supposed to be about predictions for the Squadron 52. We covered that a bit already. So if I were to recall, you say that. So yeah, so go and say what your prediction for as regard to the interviews and the stars of Squadron 42. You think they'll be at a CitizenCon basically?
Yeah, so I think they're going to be at CitizenCon. I think it's going to be really big. I also think that they're going to try and take some opportunity to be featured in other game shows. But also, the usual gaming channels, they're probably going to cover it. They may reach out to some of them to be featured in them, either live streams and all those things. And in addition to that, well, they're at the. This is a bit jumping the gun. I wouldn't say bar citizens, but similar to what they did by visiting, I think it was China, but other countries where the studios are very, very prevalent. They're going to have certain, not mini conventions, but gatherings to kind of help build the hype. So yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah. What about you?
Well, speaking of hype, let me switch the scenes. This is not a social citizen event, but members of the social citizen team are helping put together this event called Quantum Vegas 2955 on Saturday, July 12th, 2025. So that's less than 2 months away. Dang, okay.
Oh yeah.
I better get my buddy in gear, get some accommodations and stuff. But it'll be at Area 15 in Las Vegas, Nevada. And so yeah, it's 110 days. You can't see the countdown on the screen. Let me scroll down. But yeah, there you go. So yeah, this will be generating some hype. But there are no Squadron 42 actors, but we will have people from the CIG team. So there you go, right there. You have Galactica, Tyler Whitkin, and Sean Tracy as guests. And from the community, we have Kim Ellis and Nate Chronic from EU Studios. So it's fun. Paul Selly from the community. So it should be a lot of fun. That's a one-day event. There will be a bar citizen the night before. So come on over, have fun. Our tickets are on sale now. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put the ticket screen on the screen real quick because during the month of March, we're having our inaugural ticket sale, and it's $75 until April 30th. But it will go up at May 1st. So you do have another month. Then it goes up to $99. And then in June, it'll go up to $125. So you want to get your ticket as soon as possible if you want to come. So yeah, come on over to Quantum Vegas, hang out with us, It's bigger than a voice citizen, not quite a convention. I hope y'all check that out. But yeah, as far as my prediction, like I said before, it'll be cool if we can. Sorry about that. It'll be cool if we could see them at a CitizenCon. I think they will. Just a matter of timing. I've always joked that Squadron 42 will come out December 31st, 2026. 11:59 p.m. I don't think they're going to do like a store or anything like that. It'll just be on a website. That's a joke. Hopefully there'll be, you know, a regular time. But I do think it'll be closer toward the end of 2026 as opposed to the beginning. Oh, we do have a question. Let me see. Which actor? This is from Poppin' Face. Which actor and why would you choose to play a character in the next generation of Squadron? Okay, we try that. Which actor and why would you choose to play a character in the next generation Squadron FPS?
So, if we are going, for example, from one of the existing actors in Squadron 42, I would definitely like to play as Mark Strong, mainly because I think he was featured in a previous video game motion. I think it was Call of Duty, and I really liked his the integration of his acting and voice acting in that game. So we didn't play him though, but if I did get play a Squadron 42 related voice actor, voice actress, it would be, you know, I would really like to play him. The other thing, apart from those who have acted in Squadron 42 or even Star Citizen, it would be nice if I actually get to play. I have liked the voice actress from Horizon. I don't know her actual name, but I know
She's in Squadron 42 also?
No, she's not. But just like anyone who isn't in Squadron 42, in the next chapter, it would be cool if I got to play, you know, her, or even the one from this other game. It was a Viking kind of game, Hell something. But yeah, so those are the two options. Someone who's already acting in Squadron 42, definitely Mark Strong, and the Aloy voice actress who isn't in Squadron 42.
Okay.
I got to play it. You?
I made a slip of the tongue earlier, so let me correct myself. I said a store, and a New Soul Sound said they GameStop is gone, right? So I meant like it'll be available on their website, not available on Steam or GOG or Epic. You have to download it from the website. That's what I should have said. So my mistake. Thank you for pointing that out. For me, I'm gonna be. Let me see. How can I put this? I'm gonna pick Gillian Anderson. Gillian Anderson. I think that's all I can say, and I can get away with.
Okay.
For someone outside of Star Citizen or Squadron 42, oof, I don't know. Someone playing James Earl Jones with the James Earl Jones voice, like I said before, that'd be cool. Being able to play a character with James Earl Jones' voice.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool.
That would be cool.
All right. I think that's all the questions we have.
Thanks, Fakaz.
Blade. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking Hell Divers, but you said it had two other names, so I guess it wasn't Hell Divers.
No.
Citizen Ninja said they love to see Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Species Squadron 42 chapter. That's a lot of money.
Starship.
That's a lot. How much back of money you want to put into that? But yeah, there are quite a few other actors we haven't had the interviews for, like the Cavalry, Henry Cavill. As a matter of fact, I don't want to say he petitioned, but he wanted to be put in the game, and he got him put in the game. So, as a matter of fact, we saw him and the Squadron 42 presentation from last year. Several other actors that, so many that it'd be remiss if I started naming something and I already did, but not mentioning them. But so many other actors So maybe we'll
So
get to see them. Go ahead.
it's coincidental that you mentioned him because I actually forgot about him, but it's a good angle I think that CIG may be thinking of, given that, because okay, John Rhys Davies, Mark Strong, Gillian Anderson, Mark Hamill, uh, Gary Oldman. We know these from they've been prolific actors and actresses from these very very memorable sort of movies. But the more recent ones that have been impactful. For example, Steel, Henry Cavill. I think this is
You're
something
breaking
that
up,
they're
but
going to.
I'm still hearing
Oh,
you, but
sorry
you
about
might
that.
want to speak up. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, sure. So Henry Cavill is a really good example that I think would be nice to push because he's really modern and very prevalent in shows
Wait,
like The
wait.
Witcher.
The other actors
Yeah.
not modern? We trying to? Nah,
I'm.
I'm just
I'll just say, so from Man of Steel, and many persons, regard him as one of the gamer representatives and all those things. So it would be really nice to see him attend, and I'm sure he'll be willing to attend the Citizen Con and even some
Oh,
other mini conventions as well.
I just had a great
For the
idea.
marketing and such. What?
Have Henry Cavill put together a Squadron 42 stream PC.
Oh, that would be cool. That would be really cool. And
It's not
also
gonna
build a
happen.
computer.
It's not gonna happen,
A,
but it would be cool to
a,
see.
a Squadron 42 or Star Citizen themed work with the poets and make a Star Citizen / Squadron 42 themed.
Hey, the poets,
PC
you got the
desktop.
poets,
That
make
would
it
be
happen.
so cool. The poets, make it happen, man.
I need to clip that so I can send it to him. And you're doing the crazy arm thing at the very end, so I'll include that.
Oh gosh. Oh. It's natural now.
All right, so let me pause just to make sure I done it. All right, go. Hopefully the clip will work. But yeah, so that's you have any more predictions that you want to say, or you're good?
I'm good because I don't want to give any more, just in case it's too much and it just extends Squadron 42 further.
No problem.
So I'm just gonna keep it.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's it for now. So let's wrap up this show. And Kalrati, can you do me a favor and look up someone to raid while I do the end stuff?
All right, sure thing.
Let me click here it is. Next show. I don't have the graphic up, but the next show is called Operation Organization. We'll cover an organization for next week. That'll be March 30th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. UTC. I said before, there's no more slow talk. There's no more slow voices, but we will be coming with Little Lighthouse sometime soon. So check us out next week, 7 p.m. Eastern, for Operation Organization. And we're very happy to have you, Master. Thank you for the follow. Thank you. Appreciate it. You have anything that you want to plug, Kalrati?
Not at the moment, no. But thanks for everybody who's been able to come in and join us. It's been a really engaging and really enjoyable stream.
Thank you. Yep. We have someone you want to raid. Put it in streaming alerts for me. You sent me a DM. You got me a DM. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
All right.
All right, you got that. Okay, cool. So you want to become a Soul Bro, Soul Sis, Soul Mate, Soul Citizen membership, have the privileges. Click the join button below on YouTube. Thank you, Kalrati, for co-hosting with me, because if it wasn't you weren't here, I'd be solo. So I appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much. You want to follow us on social media with Soul Citizen with S Honey and everywhere. You want to support us, you can buy our merchandise, click the link down below, or go to Patreon, because everything you put into Soul Citizen come back to the community. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and follow, depending on what platform you're on, hit the notification bell to know when we go live. And I believe, you have anything you want to say to sign out before I sign out?
Nope, you sign out, man.
All right, so I believe we're going to raid Hamill 65. So let me get that set up in here. Copy. Get the right tab. Put this thing in. There you go. So, going to raid our friend Hamill 65. Make sure you send my love and let him know who we came from. And again, this has been the interview with Squadron 42. I hope everybody liked this episode. And with that, peace, love, and soul. Take care, everybody.
Okay, guys and gals.